Thank you for joining us. We are breaking into Idaho today because the verdict is in. The jury has reached a verdict in the Lori Vallow Daybell murder trial. She is the Eastern Idaho mom accused of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and grand theft in the deaths of her two kids, JJ and Tylee, as well as her current husband's late wife, Tammy Daybell. We're looking at 6 total counts. Like we said, the 12-person jury has reached a verdict. That announcement came down just about an hour ago. We're waiting for that verdict to be read in the Ada County Courthouse. They said at about 12:45, so we're maybe 3 minutes away. Those jurors have sat through nearly 5 weeks of testimony, about 60 witnesses in the case, as we are waiting now to learn what that verdict is. I'm joined by Andrea Dearden and former Deputy Ada County Prosecutor Gene Fisher.
They have to, talk about each one of these charges individually. They could come back with guilty verdicts on some, not guilty on others, but they have to individually, independently, all 12 of them have to decide on each of these counts. And so, as you can imagine, I actually feel like, Gene can tell me if this is right or wrong, I feel like this is relatively quick to come back, less than 24 hours. Of course, they've been, resting and such overnight, but really they've only spent a matter of hours deliberating.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Answer, guilty. Question number 3. In regards to count 3 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 4. In regards to count 4 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Question number 5. In regards to count 5 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Answer, guilty. Question number 6. In regards to count 7 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
There it is. After 6 weeks of trial, including jury selection, Lori Vallow Daybell found guilty on absolutely every charge: murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and grand theft in the deaths of 2 of her children and also Tammy Daybell, her ex-husband's late wife. Let's go live down now to outside the Ada County Courthouse. Morgan Romero, Shira Matsuzawa. They have been at the courthouse for absolutely every single day of this trial. Morgan, Shira, what was your reaction down there outside the courthouse when it was read?
Yeah, Justin, a big reaction, a big day for the families involved here, but also the people who have been following this trial. Now, there's a circus of media here, if you can see behind us and around us, but there's also a lot of people here who have been following this case closely. And when they read those guilty verdicts, we heard a big woo and a bunch of claps out here and cheering. And, I know Morgan took some video of it as well, because it was a big reaction, if you will.
Yeah, certainly inside the courtroom, the direction was given to everybody who's watching, media, family members, any spectators, that they cannot react. But outside the courthouse, a very different story. I'll have our photographer Jason pan around so you can see. This is the most media we have seen here at the Ada County Courthouse since this trial started almost 6 weeks ago.
Andrea, we were talking off camera. You talked about how really Lori's defense tried to put it all on Chad.
Sure. I mean, and really, it was in the closing arguments. I mean, yesterday we heard them say, yes, was she wrapped up in this, relationship? Absolutely. People have affairs. Yes, that happens. But she did not commit murder. In fact, really pointed to Chad and said he was the one who manipulated her. He was the one who, she fell for him hook, line, and sinker, and all that came with it. And really did pin all of this on him. And so it will be interesting to see, having not been tried together, initially they were going to be tried together, now separate. That allows for some space to do that, that they can kind of point fingers at each other. However, I mean, we know that Chad's defense attorney, has been in that courtroom. And he's been a part of it. I know he was there for jury deliberation, or for jury selection. I mean, he's kind of been in and out of the courtroom all this trial. So it'll be interesting to see what he takes from what has happened. I don't see how it helps. I don't see any way that this verdict helps his client whatsoever, because he has been tied to every single one of these acts, and every single one of these counts has Chad Daybell tied directly to it.
For more reaction to this verdict, again, Lori Vallow Daybell found guilty on absolutely all charges. Let's go live to outside the Ada County Courthouse right now to three people who have been on this case from the absolute beginning and been there every single day. Shira Matsuzawa, Morgan, and Alex as well.
Yeah, Justin, Alex Duggan inside the courtroom this morning as that verdict was read. Lori Vallow found guilty on all counts she faced: first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, as well as grand theft related to the deaths of her children, JJ and Tylee, as well as her husband Chad Daybell's late wife Tammy. Alex, we want to ask you, because you saw it, what was the reaction from Lori as well as people who were in the courtroom?
Morgan, basically everyone in the courtroom was ordered to be silent. We couldn't say a lot. We couldn't have much of a reaction, but there were people that broke down in tears. There were people crying outside of the courtroom. I know that Lori she had little to no emotion, very straight-faced. And the defense had their head down most of the time. So it was a very tense moment. It was a very tense moment.
It was tense out here, especially because the live stream started a few minutes late and we were all watching it because cameras are not allowed inside the courtroom. They haven't been the entire time. However, today the judge was able to live stream, and then we picked it up on KTVB, and then the Associated Press was inside taking photos. So as we were all watching that live stream on
Everyone
our phone,
was refreshing.
kept refreshing. And because you can make whatever noise you want outside, I reported earlier that people were cheering. People were crying out here. And
what about after the verdict was read? As you were walking out of the courtroom, what was that like?
People were cheering, people were crying, and beforehand, before the verdict was read, also people said that their hearts were just pounding out of their chest, and two reporters in front of me were shaking. And the reporters next to me were shaking, and everyone was just holding their breath, and it felt like you could literally cut the courtroom with a knife, like the tension in there with a knife. You could feel people's breath on you. It was very tense, yeah.
Yeah, we were sitting in the hallway before the verdict was read, and we saw Prosecutor Rob Wood as well as Detective Hermosillo pacing up and down the hallway, waiting for this verdict to come down.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that they've worked so hard for this. They've waited so long. It's been almost 4 years. They're ready to move on to the next stage. And this has impacted so many people that I think that the emotion afterwards, just the complete breakdown of tears, that was completely justified for a lot of people in the courtroom.
They are actually
we're gonna
coming
step
out right
out of
now,
the
so
way.
I'm going to step out of the way so we can get a shot of them coming out.
Kay and Larry
Kay
Woodcock
and Larry
coming
Woodcock
out
are
of the
coming out. There's a bunch of cheering happening right now. As they're coming out, you can see they're being embraced and hugged. A lot of emotions out here right now.
People are screaming, "We will rock you," because that was one of JJ's favorite songs.
Oh, and Larry is now singing "We Will Rock You." He's got the whole crowd singing along with him as well as this is happening. A lot of smiles, a lot of cheers amongst the media as well as the spectators out here right now. This is a day that they've been waiting more than 3 years for.
Okay, Larry and Kay are walking up to the microphone. Again, they've been resilient.
Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Thank you. For one time in my life, I'm kind of lost at words, believe that or not. Look, first of all, I want to thank 18 jurors. I cannot thank them enough. I'm sure everybody has paid attention in court.
Get her here closer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure everyone has paid attention in court. I want to personally thank and I want to personally hug every one of those jurors. What they went through, what they saw is mind-boggling. I hope that nobody ever has to go through this. I hope nobody ever has to see and hear the details of what happened to JJ, to Tylee, and to Tammy. Guys, we got 2 more trials. 2 more.
3. Charles, Chad, and Brandon.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Well,
Charles
okay.
is in Arizona.
Yeah.
Brandon's in Arizona.
The next trial is Chad. I look forward to being back in this courthouse again if that happens. I hope everybody is here again. I hope that y'all appreciate so much the court system, how meticulous the prosecution was. I think everybody will agree it was amazing job by all of them. And I want y'all to know that even the defense, I shook their hands. I have said many times, I want a fair, honest, and righteous decision. I think we had 18 jurors that all deserve our appreciation, our love, and they gave an honest, fair, and righteous verdict.
Larry, what is your final message to Lori Vallow?
My final message to Lori. Y'all ready? Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Lori, it ended.
We are elated with this. There was some doubt we would get all of them, all guilties, but we did it. The prosecution is amazing. The law enforcement is amazing. They became our family, and we're keeping most of them for the rest of our life as family. And even you news people, we've made great friends with you guys. And
Journalist.
and news journalists. Anyway, it's great. Our JJ now, maybe we can get him and put him to rest, as well as Tylee, and do right by them, and we'll see how that works. But anyway, we're so grateful, and we thank all of y'all for your support, and we would never be here without y'all. And so many people have reached out to us, and I mean, I have to tell y'all, we even got a message from someone in Tasmania that is following this case. So it's all over the world, and we appreciate all of you, and thank you, and God bless America, because we're grateful we live here. Thank you. Anybody? Larry?
Love always wins.
Yeah.
Hey.
Love always wins.
Love always wins. How many times we heard that? I do have one other statement I'd like to make, believe it or not. I do. I forgot one of the most important things. Ray, what would I do without you? I have one more statement. JJ, I love you. Papa, wish you were here in other circumstances. Tylee, Papa loves you. Tammy, I never met you. Tammy, you are part of our life. Tammy, I am sorry for what happened to you. My heart hurts. My heart hurts for these three. This is what this has been all about from the very get-go. It started with 2 children missing. And I stood up and I said, where are the children? Where are the children? Where are the children? Give us back our children. We're not ending this. This is not the end of this. 90 days from today, we will probably meet in Fremont County. The sentence will be handed down. And I'm going to say right now what I'm going to say in 3 months. Why, Lori? Why, Lori? Why?
Power, sex, and greed.
Power, sex, and greed. For what? For what? Power, sex, and greed. That's all it was. And JJ, Papa misses you. I miss you.
There you just heard from a very emotional Larry and Kay Woodcock, the grandparents of Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow. Some of the things Larry talked about, certainly thanking the jurors for just going through all that and some of the things they saw, that evidence. Those are things that are going to stay with them absolutely their entire lives, but called it a fair and righteous verdict and thanked the court system for giving him and the family that fair and righteous verdict. There's still a lot to come. Larry said this is really just kind of the beginning. They have the sentencing, and then Chad Daybell has his trial, where, as you said, the death penalty is still on the table. What's next in all this?
Well, as the court mentioned today, they'll start that pre-sentence investigation, which is required. That is a lengthy process where the court will get reports, not only the substantive police reports and all of the investigation, but they'll also get all of the mental health reports in this instance as well as any other materials that that the pre-sentence investigator might think it's important as it relates to her prior life. I mean, she has had a very busy life. She's had multiple spouses. Yeah. There's a lot to look at and to uncover, and you want all of that information for the judge for sentencing. That both sides will be able to read, evaluate, and make determinations on what that sentence ought to be.
I mean, everything really from her stability to her risk to her, right? I mean, like everything kind of goes into that report. And so it's as you said, I mean, with somebody who has such a history and multiple different pieces and parts of this investigation, it's going to take some time to get that put together.
Yeah. And that sentencing will not be down here in Ada County. That'll be up in Fremont.
It will be in Fremont County, right?
So a lot for them to handle, a lot to parse through. Again, as Larry Woodcock said, really the beginning for a lot of things, but it is also the end. Lori Vallow Daybell found guilty on all charges. We'll have much more reaction and analysis coming up on the news at 4. Thank you for joining us for this breaking news. We'll see you later.